So if you can, please tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I've been in financial services for 35 years. I've been all over the globe, so I've spent time in South Africa, Mexico City, a place I never want to go back to. Um, I have also been, I got mugged by the local police the day I arrived. It went downhill from there. And funnily enough, one of my colleagues who was there at that time, he's a founder in On Passive as well. So we've been chatting quite regularly, but this is a while ago. I went from there to Holland, to France, Germany, back to Dubai, Spain, Portugal, Bahrain, Saudi, back to Spain, and at the moment I'm back in the UK, so enjoying it.
That sounds interesting. You've already done what I'm still planning to do on passive launches. So you don't need to be on passive because you've already traveled enough and you don't have anything to discover anymore out there.
There's so much more to discover, honestly. I've got a bucket list longer than my arm, so there's lots and lots of places that I'd love to visit, I must admit. And I love the idea of having a laptop lifestyle. As if I haven't had it for the last 20 years, but there you go.
Yeah. So I'm interested. It's very interesting to finally find you and that you're a financial person. So tell us a bit more about that. What have you done in your profession as a financial expert? Because we need to tap a bit more from that.
Well, we've over the years, we've kind of offered things like retirement planning, education, fees funding. We've done mortgages, and pensions is a good one. And this subject enthralls me, which is really sad, actually. But bottom line is, people put away money on a regular basis. So when you're abroad, you deal with a lot of expats, and those expats, if they're in a country that doesn't pay tax, then basically we encourage them to put away the money that they would normally pay in tax for themselves, so that they can save towards retirement. So in Dubai, for instance, the average amount of money that used to be put away for retirement planning was $1,000 a month. Now these guys put $1,000 away a month for 20 years to be able to build a pot. So over 20 years, they've put in 240 odd thousand, and hopefully that pot over that 20 years should have doubled and doubled again. So in effect, a value of between 800 and 800,000 and $1 million. And then they invest that money, and we do a lot of investments, and then they draw from that investment each and every year so that they can then sustain themselves in retirement. The funny thing is now, with what's going on with On Passive, we don't need any of that, because technically all you're making is two payments, one of $97 to become a founder and one of potentially 250. So you've paid roughly 350 for a company to set up your business for you, and make you an income. What else do you need? So it's 240,000 is the hard way, or $350 the easy way. Which would you prefer?
Right. Andy, this is very important. You are talking on this because when I found out, I watched your outing with Ira and Julia. I was like, this is what I was looking for, right? Severally, I've talked to a few people, just talk about retirees or people heading towards retirement and joining On Passive. I've been in Europe for about 15 years now. The experience is not always good when people go on retirement. They work hard, do this much that you are saying, but it's never enough. So before we really go ahead, I just want you to use at least 1 to 2 minutes now and invite someone who is either planning, heading towards retirement, or who's already there. Tell them the importance of joining On Passive.
Absolutely. I think the interesting part is we do a lot of, or have done a lot of what they call pension transfer. So people that move from the UK, they move across to Europe, and they can take their pension out of the UK and they can move it into Europe. The average pot, the average total pension pot, is roughly 80,000. Now that means that if they invest it and take 5% out of it, they get an income of 4,000 a year. Okay, plus their old age pension, which again another, call it 6,000 odd. So you've got an income of £10,000 a year. That's 800 odd, £883 a month. That doesn't go an awful long way. Yeah.
Right.
Now the thing is, if we've got founders here, and Dennis Owens, bless him, is part of the UK group. He's 89 and he's looking forward to what's going to happen. You know, and I love that. I love that that enthusiasm and that positivity. It's fabulous.
Right.
But the point being that all of the clients that I've had in the past that have taken retirement, they are all, or should all, consider looking at on passive to boost their income. And if you did absolutely nothing in 2 years' time, you'd have a very healthy retirement income, far greater than you're getting coming in from your normal retirement that you've been paying 20 years into, and the old age pension.
Wow, that is really interesting. Thank you for bringing this up and putting it really just the right way. Yeah. So I know you just said something that I heard you say the last time, and you said it again. You know, you say you are doing all this work and so on, but when on passive comes, it's going to be like goodbye. You will not be there. No, you will not be there anymore. So even though you have said it, you want to add something or make it even much clearer. What difference is on passive going to really be making? Both in your life.
For me, huge. The reason I got involved in this business in the first place was because I was looking to try and boost the number of leads that we got for our business. It's a very niche market because we deal with a lot of expatriates that move to America, and and those expatriates leave their UK pension where they are, and oftentimes companies don't like dealing with a client who now lives in the UK, but they're lives in the US, but are UK registered as financial advisors. So it becomes very difficult. So I work as, you could call me a paraplanner, I suppose. My colleague lives and works in the States, and I kind of help out now. I've kind of taken a little bit of a backseat, but the object of the exercise is we were looking for more leads for the business. And it took me 4 months before I really understood what it was that I got hold of and had this light bulb moment. And then I thought, why do I need to waste time with financial services when, you know, I'm constantly waiting to get paid on things. I had a case that I got paid on in February this year that I finished in September 2019.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a nightmare. So now that I understand how on passive works, I don't need the financial services industry anymore. And this pays not only on a recurring basis or a residual income, whichever way you want to put it, but also the monthly income grows. Now, I've worked for a number of different companies over the last 35 years, and you put money under management with that company. So if you do an investment for the company or for a client, it goes under the company umbrella, and the client pays a small proportion, a tiny proportion each and every year for someone to look after it. And because we set it up, we're supposed to get something out of that. Well, I never got any of that, which is a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. But now having on passive and seeing what's going on and seeing the vision that Ash has got, this fires me up. So in effect, all I need do is to build my group, my customer base, and bring on more resellers. Now, I'm not particularly good at recruiting, but I do like to try and share as best I can. So I'm sharing. My team is growing gradually, not very quickly, but it's growing gradually. And I know my colleagues take the mick out of me because there's not enough in my team, but I'll get there. There's ways and means.
Yeah, we are all trying to do that, and I think it's a good thing. It's a good experience too, though. Yeah. So, apart from that, apart from what you have said, right? Would you just like to comment on Ash's statement that on passive is the correction to the corruption, given what you have experienced throughout your career?
I love this. We had Jeff Bezos recently, the owner of Amazon and obviously the richest man in the world, who spent a fortune getting to space and landed, and then the man has the arrogance to turn around and say, "Thank you to my customers and my employees for making me so much money." Unbelievable.
Right.
You've got the likes of Facebook that allow people to trawl others, groom kids, whatever you want, way you want to put it. And there's lots of things going on in the background that they shouldn't do. So I've got 2 Facebook accounts, one for business, if you like, and one for friends.
Mhm.
But the correction to the corruption is what we're going to have. So you have to prove who you are.
Mhm.
Yep, you have to show a copy of your passport or facial recognition, and you're going to have to prove who you are to be able to open an account. Now, that for me is fantastic. It gets rid of all of these idiots. We're not going to have the same sort of spamming that we got with constant cryptocurrency. Hi, my friend. What do you do? Oh, here we go again. There's another one.
Mhm.
And I get 5 or 6 of these a week. It's beyond belief. But hopefully that will go. The security aspect of it is massive as well.
Right.
But I love the fact that the company will never sell the data.
Mm.
Facebook and Google in particular, their whole value is based upon the data that they sell.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Facebook is looking to find more and more information, and offers that information for sale. Now, On Passive doesn't need to do that at the end of the day, but the system he's created is absolute genius, because you take on a customer that has a small business, for instance, and they're looking to boost their leads, or traffic to their website in order to boost their sales, etc. And you've got this system in place that says, by the way, Mr. Customer, if you were to click this button, you could take the money out of this little wallet that you've got in your top corner. And they go,
Right.
hold on a second, that means that I'm getting paid to use the products. That's that. Hold on. So I'm getting paid now to use a social media platform. Okay, far superior to Facebook.
Mhm.
I've got a email that I'm getting paid to use, and I've got 40 odd or 50 odd other tools and products that I can use, that I'm getting paid for, even if I use them or not. It's absolute genius. It's fabulous. So as I said, once you get the light bulb moment, you go,
No. Yeah, it's so amazing. Thank you so much, Andy. So, I, the past almost 3 years now have been, I would say, horrendous to everybody, be it business, profit, work, job, or whatever. So, how has COVID affected your business? Has that happened at all in any way? And
massively, really, because we rely solely upon the pension providers to provide us with the right documentation, etc. And they've just taken their time, and every excuse has been put down to COVID. So delay, delay, delay. So normally, or on average, it takes 4 or 5 months to complete a case.
Mhm.
And now it's taking 8 or 9 months to complete a case. So the problem is that we don't get paid until the case is complete,
Mhm.
and it's during COVID, it was an absolute nightmare.
Yeah,
But
that would,
we're through
yeah.
that now.
Exactly. So this is empowerment point, and I like listening to this part when you really have to go through challenges, difficulties. So how have you been coping? Somebody just needs to hear that, because people are going through a similar situation and they're just like, wow, why me?
Well,
So
let's put it this way. If I'm short, you do whatever is necessary to make sure that you cover what you need to cover. So in my, I'm a financial advisor, but I've been doing painting. A very good friend of mine runs a company that they paint pubs and what have you. So I've been helping him out, and getting a bad shoulder in the process, I might add. But I've also been
yeah.
doing things like roofing, and again, a very good friend of mine owns a roofing business, so I've been there to help him out. So it's kind of helped me with the cash flow side of things, and a bit of manual labour is probably a good thing, not a bad thing for someone of my age. So yeah. I've done whatever is necessary to make sure that I cover all the bills that I need to cover.
Exactly. Wow. Thank you so much. I think this is the best thing, one of the best things you have said this evening, because people just get a bit confused. You have answered the question of facing challenges from COVID and also facing the challenges of like, oh my God, I was just waiting, because some people just forgot themselves and thought that life is all now about on passive. But then these are things you do while you wait for the launch or while you wait for things to become better again, right? So people should pick up examples and do things while we move on. Thank you.
Absolutely. I think you know, we'd love to see this behemoth, because it is massive. We'd love to see this launched, but I'm in no hurry. Yes, okay, if it means me going and working on the roofs again for a little bit, or it means that I go painting for a few more days or a month, I have no problem with that. For me, it's like Microsoft. Microsoft have always brought out these different things, and the thing is, you've got Apple or Microsoft now. There's and you're stuck with that. So they bring out Microsoft or Windows 7, and then Windows 8, and then Windows 10 and Windows 11. And I always remember my uncle, who's a software engineer, saying, "Oh, you don't want to take the new Windows 10, you want to stay with Windows 8 for the time being, because there's so many bugs in the system, it doesn't work properly. So stay where you are, and when they've got those bugs sorted out, yes, okay, it's worth considering moving. But I would stay where you are for the time being." And you look at this and you go, okay, so you've got no choice now, because they've got rid of the older ones, and you're now, this is what you've got. But he's got to that stage. He's got to this point where you've got no choice. Okay, now what Ash is trying to do is to make sure that there are no bugs and no hitches, and products are fit for purpose. In other words, it does exactly what it says on the tin. Yeah. If we've got products that do exactly what they say on the tin, then this company will fly. It will soar like an eagle, because that's what it's supposed to do. So if it means it's going to take a couple more months, 6 months, even a year, I have no problem with that, because, and I don't know about you, but I know because I'm one of the founders, I know I'm sorted. So sooner or later, my worries have gone. My financial worries have gone. Be that 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Hopefully, I'm going to be about long enough to be able to spend some of this. But the point being that we know we're sorted. So it's not necessarily now looking at us and what we want to do. It's looking at what we can now do for others. That's the bit that really starts to get exciting. And again, the genius of this system and the genius of the whole project. This is going to be the largest crowdfunding opportunity the world has ever seen. If Amazon made 40,000 millionaires, on passive will make at least 1 million millionaires. You know, it's incredible.
And I'm going to be one of them. Can you imagine?
Well, Marina made a point last night. Actually, we were listening and having a chat, and she said, "In rands, I'm going to be a millionaire a lot sooner than I will be in dollars." Yeah.
I know.
But the thing is, the money is coming. No matter which way you look at it, the money will come. But that's not, or shouldn't be, the focus at the moment. The focus should be on, I want to make sure that all of my friends and all of my family and all of those people that I know get the opportunity to have a look at this and make their own decision. Now, I've got a lot of friends, a lot of close friends that have kind of, not interested. Right. That's fine. But I've done my bit and brought it to their attention. If they don't want to then take it, that's fine. They can't come back to me afterwards and say, "You never told me," because I've done that.
Exactly.
And the more people you share it with, and I did, as you know, I've been helping out on the Sunday with the African webinar, and I'm a figures guy, being in financial services, obviously. But if you look at the figures, and let's be totally conservative and realistic here. So if we say you do absolutely nothing, the company is going to register a domain name, set up a website, drive specific targeted traffic to that website, and then close the sale for you, paying you for those customers that fall into your group. So let's say, for argument's sake, that the company is going to take 3 months to provide you with 3 customers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then it's going to take another 3 months to then provide 3 customers for those 3 customers, and so on. So at the end of the year, you've had 4 what they call rotations. So the advert rotates and you sit on that rotation. And each time, again, the assumption is it's created 3 new customers for each and every person within that group. So it goes you, then you plus 3 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12, plus your 4, 16, times 3, 48, plus your 60, 64, 64 times 4, times 3, 192, plus your 64, 256. Okay, so you got now 256 people in your group. Now, again, I'm working on the basis of Ash saying 3 and it's free.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
and if we work on the basis it's going to cost to activate the account $250, then roughly divide that by 3 is 85. But let's call it 85 because Ash said you might make a small profit.
Mm-hmm.
So 85. When you've got 256 in your group, 12 of those will be direct. So if those 12 direct are going to work out at $85 each, then it's $1,020 a month. Okay. If we then assume that the remaining balance, 244,
Mm-hmm.
are at $4 a piece, then you've got roughly an income of $2,000 a month after 1 year.
Wow.
Okay, so that now, as I said to you before, the thing that's really interesting is if you look at the average retirement income of those that go to Europe to retire, it's a lot lower than that, and this is 1 year.
Right.
Okay, now if you shared this with 9 others and they took you up on that offer and they got the vision like you did, 9 people plus you, that's 10, you multiply those figures by 10. So you'd have 2,560 people in your group at the end of the first year.
Mm.
And again, if we work on the assumption that 256 is worth 2,000, then 2,560 is 20,000. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd prefer the 20,000 a month because I know what I could do with it.
I know.
Yeah. But as I said, the thing that is clear to me, and certainly discussing this with some of the guys from the UK group, is that we're no longer worried or concerned about the cash that's going to come in, the money that's going to come in. It's coming in. Okay,
Right.
no matter what. And I'm going to retire very comfortably, and I'm going to be a very happy bunny about that. The key now is what we're going to do with it all, because you can only spend so much a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice holiday, nice car, nice house, holiday home, and then people start to run out of things they want to spend their money on. Yeah, so what do you do after that? Okay, well, the next best thing. So something very close to my heart, I know, is the UK veterans. You know, they go and fight for the country and then get left in the lurch. And there are so many of them that are homeless. It sickens me.
It feels like you read my mind, because I had something here. I wanted you to talk about the UK veterans and homelessness, and you just go to it as I feel so excited, right?
I can tell by your eyes what you're going to ask, you see.
No, but you know, I'm sorry I have to share now, because you just went straight to the point. It feels like, did you read my script or something? So, oh my God. You know, I came from Africa, right? About 2007, I was in Germany before moving here in 2016. One thing, nothing bothers me about Europe and this other Western world, but it's homeless people in winter. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't stand this, because even in summer I'm freezing, because the warmth from my country is different, right?
Yeah.
Then it got me not worried when I learned that most of these people on the street are veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. I was like, wow. So it's just say more to that, because it's a point of interest.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, Comfort. I'm for helping others, particularly immigrants, if they've got an issue. There are certain things I disagree with, like the French pushing them across the channel, for instance. But what I don't understand and I cannot comprehend is why the government aren't looking after the veterans first, because they've put something into the system. They've not taken anything out. They've just put into the system, and now they're left to sort themselves out, because obviously when they're in the forces, they get accommodation as soon as they leave the forces, and like you say, with many with post traumatic stress, they have nowhere to go. And if they have no job because they've got problems or health problems, they go straight on the street. And it's the government's, it should be the government's job to look after these people first and foremost. They've done something for us. They provide us with our freedom. So yeah, I'm very, as you can see, I'm very passionate about that.
Yeah, me too, right? Because how I put it is, these people have sacrificed their lives and their mental health just for us to feel good and feel free wherever we are. And the end up on the street is just like, okay, let's not go to that, but we don't want to make it politics, but we know you and I, we know what we want. So I think we are going to do that as a team now, because I'm really, that lies deep down my heart.
Likewise,
yeah. So apart from that, I'm going to ask you the question that nobody likes to be asked, but unfortunately, I will not let you go, because as some people look up to me, I equally look up to you, because you stand a better chance. We have been waiting for on passive. We have been promised soft launch. I know that you have touched on this, but let's go back to it. We have been promised soft launch a few times, and it's not happened, right? So is it still worth the wait?
Absolutely. Let me put Charles Osong puts this into a really good perspective. He's in software. I'm not. I'm not technically minded in that respect. I'm a figures guy, so I have no clue about how these products integrate between one another, what they do, and everything else. I just know that the company's going to do this bit for us because it's automated. But what Charles Osong says is that if you've got a program that you're, or a package of software that you're creating, it has a certain number of lines of code attached to it in order for it to work or perform properly. And then you've got to integrate the artificial intelligence into that, which means that it's woven into this coding, and it takes a little bit longer to get all of this lines of coding done. But any even the smallest program we've got, like OTrim or OTracker, for instance, has over 1 million lines of code. Now, if one person were to do it, Charles Osong said it would take them 112 years or something stupid. It's an impossibility. You can't do that on your own. You need a team. So what Ash is doing is, and this was mentioned on the webinar the other day, it's 0 to 1,000 or 0,000, where they're looking to bring on or have over 1,000 staff by the end of the year. So now you've got all of these staff producing or creating, but lines of code need changing. So there's no delay. It's being done properly. Again, if you look at the likes of Amazon, Harley Davidson, Google took 3 years to come to market. It was started in a garage. Yeah, it took 3 years to come to market, and it only launched in America. Amazon, again, took 2.5 years to come to market. They were out of a garage too. Harley Davidson out of a garage. Microsoft out of a garage. Yeah, all of these companies only launched their products in the US. This is 50 plus products being launched around the globe.
All right.
So there is no delay. There's no issue or problem with it. Ash wants to make sure that these products are perfect and fit for purpose. We mentioned it before, Microsoft, with Windows. I think, as I said, if it takes a little longer and it takes another 6 months or it takes another year, I'm in all the way. And my mind is never going to be changed. And I'm still going to encourage others to come in, because if it does take a little bit longer, so what?
Right.
Yeah. So what? We're behind this man. This man has a heart for humanity. And as I said, when this thing launches, this is going to create not only more millionaires, but it's going to be the largest crowdfunding opportunity the world has ever seen. So yeah, I'm in for all the way.
Wow, this is so. Thank you so much. This is very useful information. And Andy, I'm sorry, I still want to keep you again for a few more minutes. Right. There's this thing we have been longing, even myself, nobody has really, we've never found a figures person. You are the very first, apart from Michael Williams, you are the very first, especially from the UK here. How is it going to be with paying our taxes in the UK? How is it going to work with on passive? For example,
well,
what portion and how is it going, what process and things? Maybe just give us an idea. I think you would.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't know the full picture yet, but there are two ways you can do it in the UK. You can either be self-employed, in which case you need to see an accountant or a bookkeeper and keep your books. So any costs you've got go against the costs on passive, etc., and then your income is then noted and you pay tax accordingly. The other alternative is to have a company, and then again you'd need an accountant. My advice, and I'm not an accountant or a tax advisor, okay, before let's get that clear. So my advice would be to go and see somebody and have a chat. Yeah, work out with them whether it's best for that founder to have a business, set up a business for it, a limited company, or to have it paid income as a self-employed person. And then you can work, the accountant will guide you as to which way is better for your particular situation. Now, in the States, they have what they call a 1099. So in other words, at the end of each year, that 1099 is presented to the taxman and said, this is exactly what they've earned. Yeah, now whether we have the same thing for the UK or not, I'll be honest with you, Comfort, I had no idea. But it's fairly straightforward and fairly easy to deal with, because at the end of the day, you'll know exactly what's come into your wallet, because you'll get a statement saying as such. Now, if at the end of the day, you're paying part of that towards a charity, for instance, that is deductible. So you don't have to pay tax on that amount. If you're looking after 2 or 3 accounts for other people, you've got to be aware that if the income is coming into your wallet, then you're liable for that tax until such times as you've passed that position on to the person concerned. So if you're looking after for your kids, for instance, yes, you're allowed to give them an allowance. Yeah, again, you best speak to the accountant about this, about what's allowed and what's not allowed. But and you can pay into certain saving schemes, etc., for the kids that might reduce the tax slightly, and so on. But you, with all that income, you would have to pay tax on that income, and that will be noted. Now, to be fair, Comfort, I'd far rather pay tax, because at the end of the day, I know if I'm paying tax, I'm earning good money.
Right.
So
definitely, because I've always been interested, because I want to pay and I want to know the right way to go about it. And you've given good pointers, right? Where to start from. This is useful information. Everybody will appreciate it.
Yeah, again, the likelihood is that on passive we'll have people that you would be able to talk to give you a good start. Yeah, but if you're in the UK, then you may well know someone that's an accountant, or you can have a look on in the book type touch, find a local accountant and ask for a 20-minute session, free session with him to work out which way is best for you. Most accountants will give you at least 20 minutes of their time to see whether it's worth their while helping you out set up a company, or whether they're going to be able to do your books for you, or what have you. And that's by far the best way to go. Speak to somebody who's in the know, who's a specialist, tax specialist.
Wow. Thank you so much, Andy. I'm really happy. I appreciate. You've been very, very, very useful. I appreciate your time, all the dedication, and so on. And thank you for joining our team on Passive Family. I was not there yesterday because I was somewhere, but I was so excited that you guys were there. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. It was good fun.
Yeah. So I can assure you, Andy, it will not be long. You'll surely be coming back here, because there are a host of questions, and we just need people like you to talk to our people. So thank you so much for your time.
No problem at all.
Hopefully we'll meet again at the Q&A in a few minutes.
I'm sure we will, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, guys, whoever is watching, this is useful information. Do not keep it for yourself. We are here to share, and we just want to nurture the culture of sharing. That's what Unpassive is all about. Share this information and get everybody informed so that we move on as we wait the lunch. So thank you. Continue to share, subscribe, and see you again soon. Thank you, and bye. Bye.